I watched the Mandalorian film and it actually got me into Star Wars. I hadn't watched anything prior, but I really wanted a Mandalorian figure, so I bought this brand new Black Series one, thanks to my friend Eddie for talking me into buying it. First thing I noticed about this figure is that the sculpt is absolutely incredible. The helmet really just makes the figure shine. If they messed up the helmet, it wouldn't have been as good, even if the rest of the figure did look as good. I was going to buy the Chrome Mayfex, but I think now I'll just settle for this and maybe paint it Chrome. All the armor on this figure has this nice metallic silver. It's not Chrome, but it does the job very well, especially since it's a Hasbro figure, especially this leg plate here. It looks like real metal. And I gotta say, there's not a single piece of missing paint on this whole thing. Everything is really detailed, and it just looks absolutely incredible. His holster holds his gun, which you can take out, which I thought Hasbro did have a problem with Marvel for some Deadpool figures, but I think they've got past it now. And this is like the brand new deluxe re-release, so he does have a fabric stretchy cape, which I really like. It does feel a little bit fragile, but it really does the job. Now his shoulder pads aren't posable, they're on this little bit of plastic, but when you move the arm up it does follow them, however it does sort of float there sometimes. And there are pinless joints all over the figure, not a single pin in sight. You get a good amount of accessories, however for the price I feel like they could have included one or two more. I paid £35 for this figure, and then afterwards I went on Amazon and seen him for 28. Unfortunately, the accessory I like the least is Grogu. He looks good, but he's stuck in this really weird position, so you can clip him onto the back of the Mandalorian's like jetpack thing. It is a jetpack. He's not really posable, you can move his arms up and down, that's about it, and when I actually try to clip him onto the jetpack, it doesn't really work. Like I said, there's just a single hinge at his shoulders. I don't even think his wrists can swivel. The next accessory is his pistol that I showed off a little bit earlier, also with that metallic silver that I really like. He also has his rifle, and the scope on this is actually removable, it's really cool. And he also has a small knife that you can put into his... well, he doesn't really have a knife sheath, you just shove it in his boot. And this sword here, which I'm not familiar with yet, I'm still watching all of it. And he has only 1.5 pairs of hands, 2 gun holding hands and 1 knife holding hand, which I suppose is all you really need, to be honest. I don't like having too much accessories. To attach his jetpack, just lift the cape out of the way, that's the wrong shoulder, and just slot it into the holes on the back. The cape is not removable, you're supposed to sort of just shove it like behind the jetpack or around the corner, or tuck it in. This is what it looks like when you have it attached, and it is also painted with the same metallic silver that the rest of the armor is. Of course, you can attach Grogu onto it, however it is very hard and he does not stay on there no matter what. It is not good for posing at all. The articulation on this figure has its strengths and weaknesses. For example, the head is double jointed and has some insane movement. However, when you try to make him look up, he can't at all. He has butterfly joints that kind of work, I guess. The armor gets in the way, so you have to, bear with that. However, the shoulder pads are quite flexible and don't get in the way of any range with the actual shoulder, I don't think. No bicep swivel because he has a swivel at his elbows and it is a single jointed elbow. He has like a forearm swivel as well. I don't know if it's the forearm or just like his gauntlet things that can swivel. And to my surprise, he actually has a ball jointed wrist, which is incredible for a Hasbro figure, I think. Thankfully, he has a diaphragm joint. I'm not really sure how they'd give him an ab crunch actually, but it can kind of swivel and not bend forward at all. If you want to give him, he has absolutely zero crunch. You can pull his legs up about that far, and they can move out quite a bit. However, the holster does kind of limit some of the movement on the other leg. No thigh swivel, but he does have a swivel at the knee, and the knee is single jointed instead of double jointed. And he has a hinge at the foot and some nice ankle pivot. This is my first Star Wars figure, so I don't really have anything, to compare him next to. However, here is a Boba Fett minifigure that I got off my friend. Here's the Mayfex Andrew Garfield, and the Jakks Pacific Sonic 3 Shadow the Hedgehog. All in all, I like this figure. I just wish I bought it off Amazon. My friend said it was more expensive on Amazon, but it turns out he was wrong. Whoa, I didn't clickbait you in the title. I am going to show you how to give your Mandalorian figure a nice chrome finish. Here's what it looked like before, a lot more matte. It still had a bit of shininess to it, but it was more metallic than chrome. So what you're going to want to do is buy these pens off Amazon. I think they have actually gone up like £2-3 since I bought them. and that's about it. I didn't even know you could buy chrome paint pens, but you learn something new every day. And they are actually really good and high quality. The only thing is, when I push on the paint, it goes kind of dry, and like the chrome just turns into like this really weird dry silver. And I think that's just because I didn't lace it properly. I have just redone it on the parts that my fingerprints are on, and I'm going to wait till the morning. But it's not like you could hit this with the matte spray, because if you did, it just wouldn't be chrome anymore. This image, you can see the silver on the chest like that I haven't painted yet. You can see, oh, my throat's so dry. You can see what the silver looks like on the chest plate here, what it looks like before without the chrome on it. Anyway, that's my little tutorial. There's 3 different types of pens in the pack. You got a really thick one, a really thin one, and a normal one. So you're basically covered. It was about like £7-8, but I think the price has gone up now. So yeah, there's loads of them on Amazon. Take your pick.